Right, let's take a complete change of direction. A number of you thought last night's story about an alleged black panther was the cat's meow. Christchurch osteopath Mark Orr was mountain biking on the Perseverance track near Hanmer about midday on Sunday when he swears he saw a black panther prowling the path ahead of him. Now, photos are on Facebook if you want to check it out. He's not the first person to claim he's seen the fabled big cat. There's been plenty of alleged sightings since the 90s. So, could it really be a panther? Where would it have come from and what's it snacking on? James Ross is an associate professor of ecology at Lincoln University. He's not convinced about the cat.
I mean, these things get up to 200 to 250 pounds. Standing on their back legs, they're 8 feet off the ground. I think he would have made more of an impression.
So what are your reckons, James? What do you think it could be? Have you had a look at the photos?
I have. It's difficult. Initially looking at it, it does look cat-like. It's hard to tell with the scale. I mean, feral cats can get pretty big, but there's still a huge difference between, say, something that's 8 to 10 kilos compared to something that's over 100 kg. I don't know, dog, goat, even. It's a difficult one to know. I suppose the big question for me would be, what's it living on?
And what makes you raise that question?
So I have a student that worked on leopards in Pakistan, and leopards are smaller than panthers. These things eat deer, they eat big animals. You would think there'd be livestock being predated on, they would be got even people's pets disappearing or something. These things they're carnivores, they eat a lot of meat. You think there'd be reports of something going on in the area that would substantiate it.
OK, so that's the first piece of evidence again, no nighttime raids on animals or meat seeking by some creature from the woods. But the other thing is, where could it have come from if it actually was some kind of legitimate big cat?
Well, someone would have had to have brought it in illegally. I don't know how they could do it any other way. Looking at, I was just having a look at the mammals that have been legally introduced into New Zealand, and there's no big cats in there, so it's not something that could have got introduced by an acclimatisation society 100 years ago. So someone would have had to have illegally brought it in, and whether or not it's then escaped or, who knows? It just seems a bit, considering how particular we are around borders, it would be quite difficult to do.
What about an escaped animal and some kind of crossbreeding?
Yeah, again, I don't know the source. I don't know if we've got them in captivity. I haven't had a look around at the other zoos, but I would have thought they would have reported losing a panther. Could it breed with other ones? I don't know what other species it would be able to breed with in New Zealand. So
are you a betting man, James?
Oh, yeah, I'll take a punt.
OK, what would you put your money on this being?
Unlikely, but these sightings do come up from time to time. I think they definitely saw something. It might be concerning if there's some big, large feral dogs running around the place as well. People still claim to have seen moa and moose down in Fiordland. These sightings come up from time to time. If they were serious, let's put some trail cameras out, or you think we would have some more evidence. If a big animal like that was living there, you would think there'd be certainly more evidence.
Oh, that's laying down a challenge.
If it's using the trails, it wouldn't be difficult to put trail cameras up or something, but, that thing's got to be feeding on something. If it was real, I don't know if I'd be wanting to put my pets out.
So this could potentially be sort of like New Zealand's, Loch Ness Monster or Yeti, because over the years there have been a number of sightings that people reckon are big cats.
No, definitely. I think, definitely they've seen something. It's different. They're not sure what it is. There's a whole lot of other things here that you would think if we could go to the sites, there'd be some evidence of scats or fur or something that you could DNA test, but we generally never get anything like that to substantiate it. It'd be an interesting story to follow. Usually, though, what happens, isn't it, is after one of these is seen, then there's a whole lot of reports of something similar being seen as well. So who knows what will happen next.
That's James Ross, Associate Professor of Ecology at Lincoln University. So the mystery continues. Email all evidence to checkpoint@rnz.co.nz.